Now, Hinduism is extremely difficult for people like us who grew up in the Western world, part of the world, under the influence of Europe, right? Western thought, to really get a handle on. Because the basic assumptions about reality are so different. They're so very, very different. So, and the other part of things that's really troubling, I think, for a lot of people, they almost don't believe it's true, is that Hinduism is so varied. I'm going to say this when I get to the end, but it almost comes down to this. Hinduism is what it means to the individual you're talking to. There's so much room within Hinduism for a variation of belief, of practice, of a theological affirmation, that you can literally have somebody who's basically an atheist and be a Hindu, even be a devout Hindu in some ways, or an agnostic, or a polytheist, or something closer to what we would know as a theist. So Hindu beliefs and practices, most of them are simply lost on us because we don't have a context for it, is number one. However, because of the recent trends in the last, say, 50, 60, 100 years, a lot of ideas from Hinduism have been imported into Western culture. And so they sort of float around within our popular culture. They show up in a lot of the books that are being written. But they've basically been ripped off and appropriated by Western authors. So they pick and choose little bits and pieces. So, for example, the most prominent example I can give you is yoga. Right? Lots of people do yoga, don't they? Most of them have no idea where it came from. They have no idea what the philosophical basis for it is, or the spirit or the spirituality that was the root out of which it was started, right? And people invented it. Okay? Meditation is another one, right? Lots of confusion about what meditation is. It is true, you've heard this before, within Hinduism there are quite literally millions and millions of gods or spiritual beings. They believe that the world is populated with them. Just like there are billions and billions of people on the planet Earth, there are billions and billions of spiritual entities of all sorts. Some of them are good, some of them are quite evil, some of them hate you and are going to be hostile to you, some of them are going to be friendly to you and they're going to help you, right? And part of the process within Hinduism is to figure out who's who and what's what and who to avoid and who to go sacrifice to and worship. Who's going to help you out. But they all have different sets of powers and authority to do different things. That's kind of the basic idea. But the Brahma in the original kind of the formative period of Hinduism when it was developing 4,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago, it's that old, is maybe even older, is that the Brahma was a term which was basically connotated the idea of the divine essence. Like whatever God is, that's the Brahma. That was the terminology that was used, okay? So it's the Brahma. It's the source of everything. The other big thing that we must understand is the wheel of existence. It's a basic assumption. All Hindus they start with this. That the nature of reality is that we're all on this gigantic wheel that just keeps going in a circle. And this is the whole idea of that reincarnation is connected to this. The idea of multiple lives, you exit your physical. We'll get to karma is connected to it too, but so you exit the wheel when you die, you re-enter the wheel again. You come back around, you die, you get off the wheel, you get back on the multiple lives, this sequence, right? This is a basic core affirmation in Hinduism. Okay, now when it gets into the individual, like you and I. This is where karma becomes very important. And what is karma? Well, basically, karma is it's that dynamic by which every action that I take, every decision I make, has a very real consequence. So when I do something that's wrong, I lie, I cheat, I steal, I harm somebody in any way, that comes right back on top of me. It may not come back in this life, but it'll probably hit me in the next one. And it gives me like demerits. Versus if I seek to live a good life, a righteous life, to do the right thing in the right way, in the right time, I kind of develop this, I build up merit. I build up kind of a store of merit. And I take that with me into the next cycle, you see. And the idea is, eventually, if somebody lives enough, as many lives that you build up merit over a sequence of life after life after life, you might be able to get off this wheel of existence. You might be able to escape it. And that is referred to as moksha. That's deliverance from the wheel of existence. That's the goal of the devout Hindu. In the end, is to get off the wheel of existence. And to do that, you go into nothingness or non-existence. So there's a moral in Hinduism. Any Hindu family, any individual you'll meet who's been raised as a Hindu and is in fact still devoutly Hindu, you'll find that this person has a strong moral code. They focus on the virtues of honesty. They avoid harming living beings. That just doesn't mean human beings either. It can also go out also to all animals. This is why you see vegetarianism is a big part of Hinduism oftentimes. Not always, but oftentimes. That kind of thing. Self-restraint, compassion, patience, all these basic things are part of Hindu religious life. I'm trying to show you is that there's this incredible vast array of options if you're a Hindu. So Hinduism has become, whatever it was when it first started, has become a missionary religion in many respects. So again, please note that this is not it's not like this is a matter of them just practicing their religion in their own way and leaving people alone. No, they actually want people to embrace Hinduism.